Well, welcome everyone. It's another episode of Inspiring Stories. And this week in particular, we want to tell you about another story that shares why we even created Inspiring Stories. Cliff, I'm excited to hear.
Thanks, April. Um, I want to take you back to my days when I was in ninth grade. In where I went to school, ninth grade, which would be a freshman year of high school, was actually in middle school. So our high schools only had 3 grades. So I was in ninth grade, and my friends were talking to me about the teachers in ninth grade that were there. And one of my friends said to me, "Oh, I hope you don't get Mr. Voss. Mr. Voss, he's the toughest teacher." Now, Mr. Voss taught high school history, and I liked history, but I didn't know anything about Mr. Voss. And of course, I got Mr. Voss as a teacher. And Mr. Voss was a ex-college football player. He was an actual quarterback of our high school team way back in the day when it first opened up. And his class was absolutely invigorating to me because Mr. Voss was a master storyteller, an absolute master storyteller. He told a story. When he told you a story, he said it with such energy and conviction and drama. I mean, he moved around the class. He stood on desks. He did anything to grab your attention and to draw you into this place in history. He could reenact in different voices and different characters and bring history to life to you. I was enthralled with his stories. But Mr. Voss also didn't just teach history. He taught us a lot about life. He was the one that taught me about visualization in sports. Yet he never coached me as a coach. He had a ton of impact on my athletic career by teaching me different things. And yeah, he was really hard. His tests were known and agonizing for most people. And he had us do college type papers, trying to prepare us for the future. But from his teachings and his incredible stories, I was able to get A's on all my Regents exams in New York State in history and on all my history classes from there on in, and develop a love for history, the stories that they were. And I think that was the catalyst for me to want to tell stories to you, to give you inspiring stories about my history that would help you, inspire you in your own life. So I did get the chance later in life to go back and thank Mr. Voss for that. Many years later, when I was working and had moved back to Buffalo, Mr. Voss became the head coach of our football team at our high school. And I went to a practice one day and sort of cornered him in his office and told him face to face how much he impacted my life and was impacting my life from then on in, both in athletics and in my real world life. So thank God for Mr. Voss that you get to hear these stories today, and I credit him for helping me to become a better person.
And you always share such inspiring stories. And we invite others to share their thoughts of how it resonates with them and how it impacts them. Because we all have history to share, we all have stories to share, and we have people that have impacted us to be who we are today. And thank you for giving us that insight into you. Thank you all for joining us. We'll look forward to seeing you in our next inspiring story.
Thanks, April.